Here's the truth about attraction. It's never just about what someone says. Compliments can be faked. Flirting can be a game. But psychology reveals something deeper. Real attraction always leaks out in the smallest, unguarded ways. The tone of their voice when they say your name. The way their body leans toward you without them noticing. Even the silence between words, it all carries clues. These are the signs they can't control, because the brain and body betray what the heart is too afraid to admit. In this video, we're uncovering 7 subtle psychological signs that someone is deeply attracted to you. They may not confess it, they may not even realize it themselves. But if you pay attention, you'll see the truth written in their behavior. Watch closely, because once you recognize these signs, you'll never question attraction the same way again. Number 1, the subtle drift of objects. Here's something you'll almost never read about in dating advice books, but psychology quietly backs it up. When someone is truly attracted to you, their desire to be closer doesn't always show up through words or bold gestures. Instead, it seeps out through the tiniest, almost invisible movements. Pay attention next time you're sitting across from someone at a cafe, a bar, or even a quiet dinner. Watch their phone, their drink, or the small objects in front of them. Slowly, almost unconsciously, those items begin to drift toward you. Their glass inches closer to your glass. Their phone edges nearer to your side of the table. It looks accidental, but it's not. It's their subconscious reducing the space between you through objects, because what they really want is to reduce the space between their body and yours. This behavior ties into a powerful psychological concept called mirroring. When we're drawn to someone, our brain instinctively tries to synchronize with them, physically, emotionally, and even spatially. We lean in when they lean in. We soften our tone to match theirs. And in this case, we allow objects to act as a bridge between me and you. The person might not even realize they're doing it, but your intuition will notice. Because attraction, no matter how subtle, always seeks closeness. And sometimes the first clue isn't a smile or a compliment. It's the quiet migration of a coffee cup. Number 2, the eyes that can't hide. If there's one place attraction always betrays itself, it's in the eyes. You can force a smile. You can carefully choose your words. But your pupils, they're beyond your control. When someone is deeply attracted to you, their pupils dilate. It's biology at work. Their eyes literally widen, trying to take in more of you, as if they can't get enough. You might catch it in fleeting moments. That soft, wide-eyed gaze. The pause that lingers just a second too long. They may not even realize it's happening, but their body is confessing what their lips are too afraid to say. I'm drawn to you. Science explains it simply. When we're excited, interested, or emotionally stimulated, our nervous system triggers pupil dilation. But psychology adds a more poetic layer. Dilation is a sign of openness, of receptivity. It's like their very eyes are saying, "Come closer. I want to know more." Think about it. In dimly lit, intimate settings, restaurants, late-night talks, the effect is even stronger. Their eyes don't just see you, they absorb you. This is why people describe feeling seen when someone looks at them with attraction. It's not just the gaze, it's the involuntary response behind it. So next time you're unsure where you stand, don't overanalyze every word or text. Instead, look into their eyes, because sometimes desire doesn't whisper in conversation. It expands silently in the dark center of the gaze. Number 3, the language of subtle touch. Sometimes the smallest gestures speak the loudest. A gentle brush on your arm, a brief squeeze of your shoulder, or the way their hand hovers just a little too close to yours. These are not accidents. In psychology, this is often called a testing touch. It's a subtle, almost unconscious way of asking, does this feel right? Is there chemistry here? Touch is one of the oldest and most primal forms of communication. Long before words, humans connected through physical contact. And today, it still carries that same unspoken weight. A simple touch can convey reassurance, attraction, or even longing, all without a single word being said. When someone is secretly drawn to you, they'll often find small excuses to close that physical gap. They might brush lint off your sleeve, tap your arm while laughing, or let their hand linger a heartbeat longer than it needs to. It's as if they're reaching out to confirm that the invisible spark they feel between you exists in reality. And here's the deeper truth. These light touches are rarely random. They are micro-expressions of desire, tiny risks taken to gauge your response. If you lean in, the connection grows. If you pull away, the message is received. So the next time you notice a hand on your shoulder or fingers grazing yours, pay attention. Beneath the surface of that touch might be a silent confession. I want to be closer to you. Number 4, the voice that gives them away. Attraction doesn't just live in body language, it slips into the very sound of someone's voice. If you listen closely, you might notice subtle changes when they speak to you compared to others. For men, their voice may drop slightly, becoming deeper and steadier, almost as if they're unconsciously trying to project strength and confidence. For women, their tone often softens, grows warmer, lighter, and more expressive, like their voice is carrying more emotion than usual. This isn't something people consciously plan. It's not an act or a performance. It's instinct. The nervous system reacts to attraction in ways that are hard to control. When we want to connect with someone, our vocal rhythm naturally shifts. We slow down, emphasize words differently, and add emotional texture. It's the body's way of saying, pay attention, you matter to me. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how someone's laugh becomes more genuine when you're around? Or how they suddenly sound calmer, more melodic, almost hypnotic? That's not coincidence. It's chemistry bleeding into conversation. The human voice is one of the most intimate instruments we have. Through tone alone, it can comfort, excite, or invite closeness. So when their voice seems to transform in your presence, even slightly, you're not just hearing words, you're hearing desire woven into sound. It's a sign most people overlook, but if you catch it, you'll realize their voice has already confessed what their heart is trying to hide. Number 5, when their words start to sound like yours. Attraction often shows itself in the smallest, most subtle ways. One of the clearest is verbal mirroring, when someone begins to echo your words, phrases, or even the rhythm of your speech. You might notice them using your favorite expressions, adopting your slang, or repeating the little quirks in the way you talk. At first, it may seem like coincidence, but in psychology, this is known as a subconscious attempt to build rapport. Our brains are wired to sync with people we feel drawn to. By reflecting your words, they're essentially telling you, without saying it outright, I want to be on the same wavelength as you. This isn't mimicry, it's alignment. It's their way of creating harmony, of stepping into your world so the two of you feel more connected. Think about how comforting it feels when someone seems to get you instantly. That's what verbal mirroring achieves. It creates familiarity, a rhythm where you both feel in tune. It's like a dance of language, your steps leading, theirs following, until it feels natural, seamless. And here's the fascinating part. Most people don't even realize they're doing it. That's what makes it such a powerful sign. It's not strategy or manipulation, it's instinct. So when their words start to sound like yours, pay attention, because what their mind is really saying is simple. I want to be closer to you. Number 6, when their questions go deeper than small talk. Attraction has a way of pulling conversations out of the shallow waters of small talk and into something far more meaningful. When someone is truly drawn to you, they won't stay stuck on surface-level questions like, how was your day? Instead, they'll lean into curiosity about who you really are. They'll ask about your dreams, your values, and the future you imagine for yourself. Questions like, what's your dream job? Or, if you could live anywhere, where would it be? Might sound casual at first, but they carry a deeper weight. These are not just questions. They are invitations. Invitations to share your inner world, to reveal the pieces of yourself that most people never get to see. Why does this happen? Because attraction is not just about chemistry, it's about vision. When someone asks future-oriented questions, they're quietly testing compatibility. They're picturing how your lives might align, even if they don't say it outright. It's their subconscious way of trying to place themselves in your story. And here's the most telling part. You'll feel the difference. The conversation will shift. Instead of feeling routine, It feels alive, almost electric, as though the person in front of you isn't just curious about the facts of your life, they're invested in the essence of who you are. When someone asks you those deeply personal, future-facing questions, pay close attention, because it often means one thing. They're not just interested in knowing you, they're imagining a future with you. Number 7, they find reasons not to leave. This is one of the quietest yet most revealing signs of attraction. When someone truly likes you, they're in no rush to walk away. Even after the natural end of a conversation, they'll linger. Just a little longer. It might be circling back to something you said earlier, asking one more light question, or simply hesitating before they stand up. To them, every extra second in your presence feels meaningful. On the surface, it looks subtle, but underneath, it speaks volumes. Saying goodbye is hard when the moment feels too good to end. Their mind searches for excuses to extend it. Did I thank them properly? Should I ask about that thing we missed? Maybe just one more laugh before we go. These small stumbles aren't clumsiness. They're a reflection of care, of desire, of the unspoken wish to hold on to time. Psychologists often note that when we're drawn to someone, our sense of time distorts. Minutes feel like seconds and endings feel premature. That's why attraction often reveals itself not in grand declarations, but in these tender pauses, the space between staying and leaving. So the next time someone delays their goodbye with you, notice the warmth in that hesitation. It's not just politeness, it's their heart quietly saying, I don't want this to be over yet. I want more of you. Attraction isn't always spoken. It's hidden in the pauses, the glances, the subtle ways someone holds on to your presence. If these signs spoke to you, remember, the truth often whispers before it shouts. If you found value here, don't just leave quietly, support the channel. Hit subscribe, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and join us as we uncover more of the psychology behind love, connection, and the human heart. This is FactsWorth, where hidden truths come to light.